Engan eigi ég hlut að máli þessu.
All right. Okay, let's look around. Cool. Is our initiative order? All right. Okay, he's active. Varl, that's right. Varl are the giant dudes. Yoink. Okay. Up we go. Nice. Ah, I see.
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and Var slaughter each other, even before the dreads arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more dreads to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. A dozen families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade, quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his last. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head. I am in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
All right. Chapter 1. Eric, I'm in this game. What? It is. The governor tells me you'll be giving us a hand. Seems a bit chaotic around here, Eric. It's been worse. We got a lot of irons in the fire. What does he want exactly? Scofflings that you didn't heck up in the Great Hall scattered after you took out the chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure they stay down. I was hoping you'd join me at the marketplace by the docks. Is anyone left to worry about? I know who can tell us. I feel like I'm playing D&D. Okay, merchant. Let me handle this. We meander through rows of open-faced houses and eroded stalls. Colored canvases flap on a briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Pat, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. The Scoffling's chieftain bled out an hour ago, Had, so when you tell me what rat anus the rest of them crawled back into, nobody's going to try to kill you this time. They don't talk to me. Eric needs some help here. I had a change of heart. I hope you do give us a hard time. Hat sweats visibly, fumbling with some dirty trinkets on his table. Wait, just buy one of these. If everyone thinks I'm getting worked over every week, how am I supposed to know much? Just a little food money, yeah? You toss a sliver of silver on the table. Both men look at you with surprise. Hat gestures meekly to a variety of junk from his stall. Take whatever you like. Only thing I'd like is the name of a place. Nobleman up by the east wall, but that was months ago, I swear. Had skulks away with the wave of Eric's hand, gathering things from his hovel, disappearing for a while until this blows over, you figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. Are we done here? Gunnulf, were you wearing green back at the Grey Hall? No, just bought them while you were walking around. Why? They look good. I'm glad you care. Gunnulf goes off to look at more stalls. Eric, that man of yours seems unreliable at best. A blind dog wouldn't trust Had, but he used to be a Scoffling. If they're licking their wounds, they've probably gone to old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman is a mead hall? Best I can tell, the name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these skulls in the ground. I'm gonna find him. I'll meet you there. It's not up to me, my friend. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tithe. I'll remind him. Okay, mead house. You arrive in front of what appears must be the nobleman. A few minutes later, Eric appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eric says over his shoulder. Ready? Let's get it over with. That's the spirit, says Valgard. Okay, here we go. Valgard boots the front door open so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of the table, his axe drawn. Wide-eyed, drunken Scofflings scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead steins in the process. This sounds like a fight. Yep. Bar fight, bar fight. Alright. Alright. So we got Valgar's up first. Just move slightly. I'm gonna let them come to us. I can't quite get in range of him, so we'll go here. That rallies everybody. Lend his turn. Okay, move. You up here. Attack. Stab Rooney. Damn. Alright, Valgard. Here. Almost got him down. Okay, let's move you up here. Attack. Nice. It took a couple willpower there, but that's alright. And one. Boom. You should be able to take him almost. Nope, don't want to do that. Nice. Nice. There they are, gods be damned. I've got to go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out the hall's windows onto the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well, Vognir. Next for Varl kingship last we spoke. The other flag looks important. Yeah, important guests. See what I deal with all day long? Ah, things make a little more sense. You hoped I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the royal guests arrived. Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure there's no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favor? What is it? If you happen to stall our guest down the docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eric and Volgard hustle from the mead house. To his credit, Eric tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. Off we go. Vognir. The familiar Varl steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version trampling the halls of Grofheim abundant in purpose. God, Zubin, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old. If there's a Vognir there, must be Hakon. Must there? Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid, old ox. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jorundr demands it. I take that over lingering to death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Aberong, in fact. And glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering. Golden Wolfhead emblazoned on red, the king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son Ludin, don't you know Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim? I have the distinct feeling I've finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Moger? Hakon, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Moger. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world of a sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it's been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Svognir's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. Let's talk to Hakon first. Scrivener! You find Hakon in the mead house, surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon. Vognir's the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyways. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise, what this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Ha! Humans. I guess if I only lived as long as a Yawk's fart, I might be desperate to make something of myself too. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon let slip a low chuckle. Any Varl could recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swathe through Dredge at Vognir's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here, I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grofheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing, and step back into the cool air outside. Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Luden. A woman in red waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Luden. Yes, here with Vognir. I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Vognir a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim with my guards. Luden looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying ties to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? Oh, well, you seem to know who I am. Do you have what you need? So I do. I won't keep you. You leave wordlessly. It seems clear that Luden was in no mood to talk, or he's a miserable cur. At dawn, you're awoken by a delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with a sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All there, just as promised. To your mild surprise, you wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Vognir is already here. A while later, Luden and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Moger steps forward, Vognir's quartermaster. If you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors, you know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. I guess we are. You follow Moger and join the others. Usually the smaller doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort. Just frustrated and tired people. It summarizes Strand well as a whole, you think? And off we go with our little party. And our eponymous banner. The caravan stops for a day. A gift, says Moger, cracking open mead casks, from our gracious friend, the governor of Stand. Hours pass with raucous laughter, and mead is passed throughout the camp. Toast, Vognir. You raise your drink, toasting the alliance between man and Varl. The others join in. Luden's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually you sit down beside Vognir. Have a chat. Thanks for the speech, slurs Vognir. Looks like you didn't have to miss out after all. Thanks to Moger. I thought the damned governor would never shut up. Did he give you history of his entire family? He tried. Then he asked me to clean up his mess, for your benefit, turns out. I'd have given the job to you too. Gods, there's no joy in politics. Speaking of, what happens after this business with Luden? Hopefully the boy goes back to Arberong on his own, and I can take out some frustration on the dredge or something. Starting to sound like Hakon. You don't like the life of a diplomat. Haha, don't you miss the fight, Ubin? You down your mead instead of replying. Vognir slouches and shakes his head. There's no great joy in killing Dredge, but this... Pretty sure this nonsense is some scheme between the two kings to force some kind of lineage. Used to be, warriors would follow you for what you've done. Isn't that why they follow you now? Is it? Or is it because I'm next in line? These lines are getting muddy, old Varl. they've always been muddy, Vognir. Vognir stares into the campfire, lost in thought. You leave him to it. You rise groggily, the campsite a casualty of merriment. Mulgar is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Ludin stalking your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up, you know, lunch, Vognir. You're needed. Ah, it's Ludin. Always a pleasure. You look well rested. Vognir releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grofheim? Ha! We're only 2 days out of Strad, you know. Come, I'll show you on a map. Map of the world. See, Grofheim's way over there. Very beautiful map. Well done. It'd be cool to do like a D&D campaign in this world. We head north and then east past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand. Going to be a long march. You should have drank last night, Ludin. Why not take ships to Skirmirstead? What's the point of marching? The Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year and would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skirmirstead. A half-sunken city crawling with dredge, Prince. Dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Ludin exhales through the nose, a poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the anthill, Vognir. He seems no happier to be here than you. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for the tall cliff to hop off to. Ludin's got a shorter wick than Hakon. Thanks, Vognir. Let's get moving. Another half day to Vetterfell, if we're lucky. Alright, Camps for Nancha Caravan. Alright, let's upgrade people. Give him one extra one of those. Ah, I see. That's what that was. Alright, so Ludin hasn't killed anyone. Okay, so he's the only one we could up right now. go back out? Well, I guess we'll do a training battle. See how that works. Hello. Hi, pumpkin. Okay, so it doesn't really get me anything, it just lets me test strategies. Okay. Okay, so we'll head back out of there.
Wedderfell. Even the name means bad weather, where frozen wind sweeps in from the bay. They tend livestock, but most are just men driven from Strand with nowhere else to go. Why else would anyone stay? We won't stop long.
Buy a Hatterborg. That's a lot of Varl for some missing cattle. What? A couple days back, we sent word to Strand about the cattle. Didn't expect an army. He looks pleased with himself until it sinks in that you aren't here on his behalf. Where have your cattle gone? Wouldn't know. My boy has seen men up in the hills carrying them away. Don't know many men who can hoist a whole cow by himself. Skulklings out here, maybe. Could they have Varl working for them? Not from what the governor told me. I'm going to have to take a look around and get a camp set up. Peasant spits, his eyes anxiously darting about as the caravan sets up tents. We'll be here no more than a day, and silver for any food you've got. For hundreds of Varl, are you serious? Whatever you're willing to sell. You're thinking of squatting? Not enough room for a couple hunters here. Forget hundreds of... Shut up! Hear that? Where's Luton? It's faint. It sounds like fighting and something else. Hakon takes off at it. Oh, heck. Hi, pumpkin. can't remember if I have a feeling I'm not supposed to win this one. Trying to get you. Okay, he's not dead, thank God. Trying to get yourself killed, Luton. What are you doing? I was trying to get a shot in between the plates. You never seen a dredge before, boy. What kind of idiot? Break their armor first. Where do they come from? We didn't even see them. They were just there. Hakon goes to where Vogner lies face down. The future Varl King lies motionless aside from a spreading pool of blood. Vognir's dead. Oh yeah, now we get so the other party. Where did that thing come from? Shh, stay close. I think it saw us. Oh jeez. Okay. We're a little farther. Can't hit him quite yet. Ah, still can't hit him. Ah, got him. Oof. Was that a dredge? Well, that looks calm. You could tell her heart is about to beat right out of her chest. It was. Let me see. Are you hurt? No, I'll be fine. When the dredge attacked your cart and the ox bolted, it spilled most of your supplies. You can see more dark figures moving through the trees when you glance that direction. All that food, the last we're going to get before winter. What do we do? Don't run, let me think. Let calms the ox while you frantically toss supplies back into the cart. More dredge emerge, but you manage to get the cart moving again before they can close in. The colossal figures slowly recede into the distance. Ah, the art is just so gorgeous.
I never expected to see the dredge with my own eyes. What happened in the north? Already we see more between the trees as we approach our home, and Alette grips my hand tight. We must find Ivor.
Ivor! The enormous varl in question towers over them in the training field. He squints as you approach. Already back, Huntmaster. Thought you'd be tomorrow. Dredge! Everywhere! Dredge! How did they get through Greyhorn? Must have broken through the fort. The fighters nearby have stopped sparring. They gather around you. Damn it! They'll be here soon if they're not already. You hear screams from the outskirts. People are running toward the Great Hall. Ivor turns to one of the older boys in his group of fighters. Eagle? Eagle, take Alette to the Great Hall. Tell the chieftain what's happening. The rest of you, gather up as many people as you can. Come on, Alette. No, wait, I want to help. Let them fight, Ivor. Why not invite some goats to join us too? You're asking for dead kids. I won't let anything happen to her. They have to deal with it sooner or later, Ivor, what's now? Eagle, keep your shield up. We'll just hold them off until everyone's inside and figure out what to do next. More shouts draw your attention. Sure enough, dredge are gathering in number. Fear threats to bubble into panic. How long do we need to keep this up, you ask? Ivor shakes his head unknowingly. That's a bad sign. Oh, gross. 16? Oh, gross. Oh wait, that hits him too? Ah, rude. Nice. Kill that. Okay. Nice one. Boy, back off. Oh my goodness. Whew. Yay, good job, Abel. Handle that. Black Horde is forming at the tree line. Enough of this, says Ivar, glancing over his shoulder. We're going back. And adds, Rook, I'm doing one more check of the houses around here. See if you can find anyone. turn to head back, a colossus appears around the side of the house. It silently looms over Alette, its face an expressionless stony mask, more terrifying than any roar it may have produced. Time seems to slow as it pulls back its enormous mace. You scream Alette's name. She snaps to attention, confused, but does not dive out of harm's way as you had imagined in your head. Suddenly, Aegle is between Dredge and the Alette, the shield above him. The black stone mace falls, Aegle's shield crumples, and the boy beneath it. A moment later, Iver is there, his sword run through the neck of the Dredge. He's gone, says Iver, looking over the boy's shattered skull. Alette gasps, her hands to her mouth. I'm checking the other houses, Iver remarks. See if you can find anyone and meet me at the Great Hall. Our boy! I see. So they take a little time. Change your back, come back. Roll. What was that one again? Break. Okay, I'll up the break damage. Alright. You find anyone? A few. Sent them inside. Gods, this is bad. About Gil. It was my fault. He was a good fighter for his age. No family. I thought I've forgotten what it's like facing Dredge. I'm out of practice, Rook. Look, as long as I've known you, you've always wormed your way out of talking about Dredge. This would be the time to start talking. I can tell you they rarely stop for rest. The sooner we leave, the better. They'll follow us until we're tripping over tired women and children, and then they'll attack. Even after we're wiped out, they'll keep coming, trampling corpses in their wake. There's no end to them. How did anyone survive the Great Wars? Ask the Menders, I wasn't there. I know, but you fought your fair share. Yes, I've killed enough slag for one lifetime. That's why you're going to save us now. Don't lay that on me. Come on, let's get inside. Rook, thank the gods you made it. The Great Hall is an utter din, filled as it was with dozens of terrified families. Don't stop worrying yet. I haven't. What in the depths is going on? Dredge milling around, ransacking houses? The chieftain's wife finds you pushing through the crowd. They must know we're here. Why haven't they attacked? Don't know. I wouldn't expect it to last. I've made some decisions, but tell me straight, what would you both do in my place? I'd have left by now. They're already outside the doors. Not so easily done. Rook? Chieftain sighs, a deep and heavy breath slumping. He looks years older. I imagined us fighting back and saving the town, but nonsense. Beaver's right, of course. We can't just wait to be slaughtered. Where do we go if Dredge are coming down from the north? Frostfeller to the west is close and it has walls. I intend to be free of Skulker in one push, nobody left behind. I wouldn't. If they follow us, we're done. What do you suggest? Let me create a distraction, then go. I'll catch up the road to Frostfeller. I didn't ask for advice, just to ignore it. Promise you're not throwing away your lives on this. Alright. Distraction time. Okay. Okay, so just those two. Alright, what do you got? Ah, I keep forgetting that hits my own dudes. Fuck. Shit. Ow-wee. Ooh. Owie. Down as much of his armor as we possibly can. No, you fucking... Okay, thank God. Right, no armor. Ooh. Alright, let's get him there, Mark Prey. We should be able to take him. Oh, thank God. Whew. Nice. You have no problem getting the dredge to follow. Things begin to look dicey, but you're eventually able to lose them in the thick woods, where they have difficulty keeping up. You climb to an overlook and wait for the caravan to appear. An hour later, Oddleaf is the first to spot them. There! She points to the road as you rejoin them. You can tell there was trouble, some people wounded, others missing. The group is gathered at the rear of the caravan. Oddleaf walks beside a covered figure in the open wagon. Old fool, she says through clenched teeth. I should have stayed with him. The chieftain's death hits you like a blow to the gut. You continue on to Frostfeller in silence. Let's hand firmly on your own. Pausing to catch your breath, you glance backward to see the caravan stretched out past the point of safety. They're spaced out so far you're unable to see those bringing up the rear. We gotta pull them together, says Yver. It'll be dangerous to stop until at least the Godstone. The path should just be ahead. You make your way to the rear and hoist a small child to your soldiers. Fight for every step. Remember those who didn't make it and push onwards. The clansmen see your effort and follow suit, pushing harder. Nice. Enough for today, I think. After a day of misery, men and women dropped their meager possessions beneath the godstone of Fridbalder. What are we doing? We just left our homes because suddenly there were dredge. The chief did what I suggested, and look what he got for it. Look at these people. Somebody has to hold them together. That's you, Rook. What do we do if we run into more dredge? You mean when? I'll be honest with you, these men can't take on dredge by themselves. I expect we'll lose 2 for every slag we take down. So we run? Only if you want to lose women and children. We're going to have to fight. There are going to be deaths. Gods be damned, why is this happening? Think of how I feel. I'm stuck nursing a bunch of weaklings. You do care, I can tell. Feh. Men are a plague on the world, worse than any dredge as far as I can tell. Chats like this are why we get along so well, Yver. Ivor. Sorry, it's Ivor, not Yver. You sleep poorly, the sun forever stuck to an eternally bright sky. Before the others rise, you find yourself staring over long, low hills covered in pine. Godstone looms overhead, the massive eyes of Fridbalder looking the same direction as you. The weathered stone doesn't see many visitors, not much reason to travel so far east. When hunters come through, they sometimes stop to give offerings out of habit more than anything else now the gods are dead. Fridbalder was the god of hunters and wild beasts, and occasionally seen roaming through the land of both man and wolf. He was always depicted in effigy with his terrible spear. You wonder what he'd think about his woods being full of dredge now. A young girl from the caravan approaches you. I made this for you, she says, handing you a crude necklace carved from a branch she must have found nearby. Thanks for saving my mama, she says, before running back to her tent. Back at your tent, you rouse Alette, who clings to your arm until completely awake. Bad dreams. Eventually, the camp has broken down. It's time to move on to Frostfeller. It feels like an end more than a start. That thing. Cool. Backgrounds in this game remind me of like old Disney films, like the 1930s, 40s ones, like the backgrounds they would paint in those. The caravan halts when a group of men appear on the trail, weapons at their feet. We've seen the dredge in your wake, says one. We don't wish to meet them alone. If you'd let us join you, we'll show you a watering hole with enough animals to fill those supply wagons. Inherent fear of strangers raises mutters from the caravan. You'll be no trouble, come along, you say. The men cautiously join your ranks and prove trustworthy. The hidden water hole is nearby, teeming with animals, and soon your supplies are nicely restocked. Nice. Nice. During a rest, one of the men gets too drunk and ends up splashing meat in a warrior's face. A brawl erupts. Nice, nicely done. Many thrown fists and a broken bone later, the instigator Ravensvarter is tossed to the ground at your feet. Angry clansmen looking for satisfaction, his personal defense is little more than drooling mumbles. We'll tie him up until he dries out. You grab a rope from the supplies and make short work of the sot. A few onlookers throw scraps at him, but most just walk away with a laugh, least content that some measure has been taken. That seemed like the least measure of some kind of punishment. Tie up the drunk guy. The caravan's visibly relieved to find a small village away the Frostfeller with beds and fresh supplies. The locals here are shocked by the news you bring and discuss it amongst themselves while you set up nearby. Hey, we finally get a camp. Nice. Okay, so we got a few upgrades. What's this do? 15 dodge. Alright, so we'll promote you. Heck yeah. Upgrade the break strength, because that seems very important. Promote you. Okay. Nice. What do we got at the market here? Sure, we'll get that. What are you doing, Coco? We'll get 2 weeks worth. Okay, we'll rest a day, which I think means that our injury should be fixed. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we're heading to Frostfeller here over in Setterland. The other party is over on this side of the continent. Okay. Cool. Alright, well I think we should be good to leave. Alright, you're only just outside the village when 2 men in red approach. My name is Hogan, says one. They turn to the other. My brother is Mogan. Many from the village wish to join you to Frostfeller. A third man, exuding rage, charges up to the group. Shut your mouth, Hogan, he screams. Oh, okay. What are you doing, Coco? What's going on? These bastards don't speak for us. They've been trying to divide the village since you got here. True, you can keep whoever wants to stay and die. The rest of us will go with the reasonable people to Skogar. I'll have you both gutted before I let half the village desert. Behind the angry villager, a mob of armed thugs have appeared, all furrowed brows and nervous stares. You know what both will happen to the rest of us if the fields are abandoned? Nobody leaves. There's not gonna be anything left when the dredge get here. Dredge my ass. I don't know what the scam is this time, Hogan, but you've got 2 choices. Get back to work, or I'm finally putting you in the ground. Mogan, what do you say? Thought it was unfair that he only asked me. Mogan draws his axe, followed by Hogan. Despite their confidence, the brothers are outnumbered. I think I make a poor farmer. Alright, we'll side with them. Let's see where everybody's at. Let's put you guys there. That's right. Let's do that. Okay. I should be able to take him out. Oh yeah. He's gone. Okay, let's move you over here. Mark prey. Oh, she can't shoot because she's right next to him. That's right. Okay, so she from here. Okay, so Hogan and Mogan, you guys slap the fuck out of this guy. Meow. Nice, okay. Nice. Boom. Alright. Got him. Brothers, thank you. With wide grins, soon many of the villagers have joined your caravan. You scan anxiously for Alette, who has gone missing when the fighting began. Eventually you find her watching from afar. Hogan returns at the moment, introducing you to his son and wife, and you soon set out again. Nice. Alette marches quietly alongside the cavern, a little distance since leaving the village. When you stop for a rest, Oddleif approaches you both. Alette, I have something for you. Oddleif has gathered up a long banner from the caravan and smiles as she passes it to Alette. What's this about? I was hoping you'd sew up the banner with everything that had happened since we left Skoger. Come, find me another time, Rook, and we'll talk. I'm afraid you can comment, she departs. Dad, are you the chieftain now? I don't know. Oh, that means... You're both quiet for a moment while Led unfurls the banner. Oddleif has been teaching me how to sew. She speaks pretty highly of you. Can I read the part about Mom? You nod. On the banner has been sewn the stories of the families who lived in Skogar throughout the years, just as is done on every banner in every town. I wish she were here, but I'm kind of glad she isn't. The section of banner about your family is short, but Alette has been sewing in colorful designs. Why do you say that? So she doesn't have to deal with all of this. Dredge, leaving home, and... Why did you have to kill those men in the village? I mean, if it's okay to ask. Make a hard choice. Because the Dredge are terrifying. Every time we fight them, I just want to run, but I don't want to kill a person. Please? Are you mad at me? I guess I wouldn't do it. Would do it if I really had to, but do we have to? I know what you mean. Yeah, I know, Dad. I think you're doing a good job. She hugs you and spend the rest of the time together sewing new verses into the banner. For better or worse, the story of Skogar is your burden now. The eponymous banner. Okay, that's all. Everybody's leveled up. Alright, Oddleif, what do you want? How are you doing, Odd? I'm alright. Not at first. Sometimes when a loved one dies, people say it doesn't sink in for a while. It sunk in for me right away. People tell me I'm a strong woman. It's funny, my father named me Oddleif before I was even born. He wanted a boy so badly. Strong woman. What does that even mean? People look up to you. Don't take this the wrong way, but I don't want to be known for handling my feelings. If I feel nothing about my husband dying, people think I'm strong. If I cry because my insides feel like they're on fire, I'm weak. Why does that feel so backwards? I'm sorry, Rook, it's been hard. You're not sure what to say. In the many years you've known the chieftain's wife, this is probably the most you've ever talked. You asked me to come find you. Yes, it's about the banner. I thought about it a long time. He asked me to give it to you, you know, if something happened. Your family, you should carry it. You're right, I should. It should be mine. I could carry it, but I thought about why he named you. I get it. They won't follow a woman. Families would leave, our banner would be divided. Come on, Rook, this isn't the time for pretend. It's not just about our small town. What happens the first time we need something from another clan? How will that go? And the first time someone thinks they can take advantage of us. I think this is what has to happen. I'm not sure if that's the dumbest thing I've heard or the sweetest. Listen, I know I dragged this out. Truth is, my husband and I could never have a child. I don't want our banner to end here. It'll be safe with you and Alette. I know you're going to take care of her. She puts her hand on your shoulder as she heads back to camp. Alright. The journey continues. A small split in the trail. A few fighters stop to speak with you, each carrying a single pack. You recognize this place, one man says. Spent several years here with some kin who are still around. We have to warn them what's coming. With luck, we'll find you again in less than a week. If that's all you're taking, you may never make it, you say, grabbing a few items from the supply wagon. You strap additional provisions to their back. Search for family instead of food, you say with a smile. The men clasp wrists with you before departing. not far from Frostfeller, so that was fine. Complaints of Ravenswater's excessive drinking have resurfaced. This time the man stumbled over some tent ropes, pulled the snag canvas through a campfire, nearly setting a supply wagon aflame. Landsman put the fire on both the wagon and Ravenswater's leg before leading him to you. Ravenswater groggily agrees, luring his way through promises to quit being such a nuisance. Many of the onlookers snort or roll their eyes, go after their business. Somehow you doubt it'll be long before Ravenswater manages to find another drink, whether you allow it or not. Dredge! Shouts a man from the back of the caravan. It's Ravenswater, the unabashed drunk, staggering toward you, looking not entirely sober. He screams again, pointing to the trees. Fear races through the caravan as fighters pull their weapons. Scouts return with no sightings, and furious men surround Ravenswater. Ready just in case. There'll be time for that later, you tell the men. For now, we take no chances. A full day of uneasy rest passes. The caravan is annoyed by the scare and the delay. Eventually, Ravenswater bursts with laughter, and you're sure there never were any Dredge. Not long after, Ravenswater goes missing. Nobody searches for him or seems to mind.
Once a strong, thriving city, the walls of Frostfeller now just keep the howling winds at bay. With luck, they'll hold out against Dredge as well.
Jostle through the fallow crowds of sunken faces who appear as though they've been freezing in front of Frostfeller for days. The gates are closed. You come to a stop at the bottom of the hill. This is not looking good. Why are there so many people in the fields? We can't stay outside in the open like this. Oddly finds you among the refugees. Rook, I just talked to some of the women here. Nobody's being let into the city. Why? It's overrun with Varro from Lotzbalker, Greyhorn, people from Bitra, all the nearby villages. The Dredge are everywhere. And the chieftain of Frostfeller has locked himself in his great hall. That's when they close the gates. When the Dredge come, these hills will turn red. We have to get in there. I want to know more what's going on in there. I see a lot of people gathered around the rest houses and the gates. We could find out what they know. How would we get in anyway? They closed the gate. I can get that gate open. Let's see if there's any other way before we start breaking down gates. I wasn't going to break it, just push really hard. Like item level 5 to wear that. Let's see, I don't think we had any changes in the leveling up. Give you an extra strength. You spend a whole day at the rest houses. Everyone gives you the same story. The chieftain just shut himself in his great hall and closed the gates. There's lots of wounded people here, Anzelet. We could help them. Alette and Oddleaf spend the day among the others in your caravan treating wounds, most of which came from archers at the gates. You overheard one of the women in the city that's been sending carts of food around. Could be a way in, Eva replies. Next time they send a cart, we bring it back in. Oddleaf protests. Aside from leading to a fight, it'll probably mean no more food for the refugees. Keep your sword down until we need it, you tell Ivero. Make a deal unless they're looking for a fight. Or the next day you spot another cart leaving. After they throw in their scraps to the refugees, you approach. Stop. My friend wanted to talk with you. It's not what I wanted. I think I can guess why. If we knew there were more fighters than Varl out here, Echo might have brought you in the city. Who's Echo? He's in charge up there. In charge of what? Better let him explain. You follow him back up to the gates, where they open the doors for you. A man clad in black approaches as you step inside. What in the depths is this? The man orders his guards to get the doors closed before more refugees notice. You said you wanted fighters. You heard about the chieftain? We heard he's hiding out in the Great Hall. Oh, really? You mean hiding out in a grave? He's eating worms, if that wasn't clear. What happened in here? As soon as they heard Dredge were coming, anyone who couldn't swing an axe got one to the head. That's the short story, anyway. These 3 clans in here, warring over turf and food, and the worst are the god-forsaken Varl. He eyes Ivor and shrugs with exaggeration as if simply stating the obvious. We're in more danger here than out there. Look, I wasn't in charge here before things went to crap. You got some people who can fight. You got your own Varl. That counts for something. I can keep your flock safe in the Great Hall. You fight for me and to take back Frostfeller. I don't take sides. Too hard to tell when the good guys have become the bad. Fine, cut the sheep loose and watch your own asses. What do I care? All I want to do right now is get out of the damn streets. Think carefully about what you want. Good, because whatever else you were thinking would have been a bad idea. Eccles shouts to his men, and with the gates closed, you follow him down obscured alleys. Hope we know what we're doing. Making it up as we go, Ivor. Chapitre 3. Back to the other group. Hakon, we're back. I was able to get up as many warriors from Strand as you wanted, and more weapons, extra supplies too. You perk up, realizing Mogur's been talking to you. Since Vognir died, everyone's looking at you to make the decisions. It's exhausting. Hakon? I heard you. I was saying, the Varl we sent to Strand have returned. The governor gave us most of what we wanted. Good enough. Much resistance from the governor? Some. I don't think he was happy about us buying his fighters, using his own money. He also insisted we take on a lackey of his to watch over his property, a man named Eric. Eric, I met him. He seemed competent enough. Regardless, the governor will have it to get over it unless he wants Dredge crawling through his streets. We put down every slag that's wandered through here while you were gone. Enough flapping of mouths, then. Sure that wound is healed, Ludin? I agree. Our enough has already gone wrong. If something happens to the prince on a mission of peace, the alliance would rot. Or worse. They're right, Ludin. Turn to... Well, Ludin makes his own decisions. We would only be made to do this again later. I will not suffer it all a second time. Either take us through the wandering road, or do your job and slaughter some Dredge. Ludin turns abruptly with a scowl and stamps back to his ring of tents and followers. Wandering row is not an option with this many. I could crush that boy's skull with one hand. If Ludin won't be deterred, you'll have to deal with it. Don't let Ludin get to you. Let's go. I'm sick of looking at this dump. What do I tell the warriors, Hakon? Will do. Give the word and we'll set off. Alright, so we got some people to talk to. You knew him well, didn't you? Vognir? No. Ah, well, I don't know. I remember him. Always rushing around with some important business, but I never knew him, never got a chance to talk much. Longer than I did, in any case. I suppose so. When he spoke, Varl listened, I knew that. I could use help there. Scrivener leans back, considering the sentiment. I've seen worse. They respect you for your ability to swing an axe. They need to respect you for your actions. But you're not talking to the right Varl. Moger's got some skill there. Most I can do is hold a quill. What are you always putting down in that journal? How do you mean? What do I write? I write what happens. They've got a banner in Oberon for that, you know. You mean the long banner? Yes, the Menders wove up something that writes its own history. You want my opinion? I don't trust it. No? It tells a broad story. I think there's some value in the narrow. Whose story does it write? Mine? Theirs? Ludin's? Gods forbid. Ha, you relic. The gods have been dead a long time. Oh, have they? Old habits, I suppose. Heard you were a terror in your day. Do you know how old I am? Dare I ask? I'm competing, you know. Nobody knows how old Vivaro can get, naturally. Another one named Krumer is close, I think, but addled son of a bitch still welcomes a fight. He'll probably be off before I am. Although... The Scrivener gestures around to remind you of the current situation. You chuckle. Anyway, point is, what difference does it make? I'm just a delivery baron for Jorundr now. Can't remember half of what I've done. Hence the journal? Hence, don't get fancy on my behalf, Hakon. Okay, I won't. What do you suppose happened to the sun? Gods, how should I know? Never seen something like this before. Are you worried? Some of the Varl in the caravan think the world's coming to an end. Others think it's the best thing that could happen. No more black months. I'll take it. If it's the end, I'm ready. What about the rest of us? To the depths with you. Ha! I've hoofed more hills than a horse born with a grudge. Don't worry about me. I'd ask how you're dealing with Vognir's death, but I already know the answer. Do you? Steady old Moger, which is good. I know most of these Varl, but they're not under my command. They came to follow Vognir. Tell you the truth, I wouldn't want to be in your position either. Throw together this many Varl, half of them want to hit each other, the rest want to be left alone. Anyone I should keep an eye on? There's a couple of clan leaders trying to show off for each other. Not a big deal. I've got it under control. These fighters we got from Strand aren't bad, that they're unruly. Give it a few days. And there's a few moaning about fighting for you instead of Vognir. Those are the ones to worry about. What about Ludin's men? They don't want to hear anything from me, I know that. Any problems? Could be. Ludin's pet Varl is named Bersi. I'm not sure where he came from or what his deal is. Bastard knows how to fight, but there's something I don't like about him. The girl in red is scary too, Yersa. She's probably the best fighter Ludin's got, to be honest, but I've overheard some of the Varl call her the witch. Oh, why? Flaming arrows, I think. It's a good trick. The fire upsets our Varl more than the dredge. Still doesn't make much sense. Witch? They're not scholars, Hakon. I think they're mostly just afraid of her. That makes more sense. Don't let her find out. More than I am, any more rope and I'd hang myself. I doubt that. I forget, you weren't around back then. At one point I had more rope. I hung myself. So no, I'm not interested in command. It's all yours. Thanks. You think we're walking into a death trap? This many Varl? No, we should be alright. Things could get rough, though. I don't like being the one to send Varl to their deaths. I like worrying about myself, and that's the extent of it. Who would have expected Vognir to drop like that to a couple of slag? I'm still wondering what happened. He had hundreds of dead slag to his name. I don't get it. Just happens sometimes. No big moment. I'm sure it surprised him even more than us. Although I have to wonder... Ah, never mind. Anyways, I'll worry about the warriors. You worry about not doing something stupid. That's asking a lot. What are you holding back about Vognir? I'd rather not say, Hakon. Why not? It's the kind of thing that gets stuck in your head and you need a clear one. It's better if you let me worry about it. If you say so, keep it to yourself. If there's a reason to bring it up again, I will. Look at that, says Moger. In the hills, more dredge. No more than a dozen, though. You just as easily pass by us, rush up there to slaughter them. Ludin overhears. That's a dozen dredge heading towards Strand, he says. You ask him when he started to care about Strand. I don't, he replies. I thought you did. Alright, let's go kick some butt. Oh wait, they're already there. I'm stupid. Let's do it. At least they're all the smaller ones. All right. get to use. Oh, very nice. Nice. There we go. Nice. Nice. Hakon. You can hear Luden's hard-booted trot as you set up camp the first day and brace yourself. Can we speak? As equals. We can try. It seems clear to me you plan to kill a lot of dredge along the way, am I right? What do you ask? Because since we left Arborong, the Varl have been acting like I need protection. Don't assume only the Varl can fight, do you understand me? This is my banner we fly to Grofheim, the banner of Arborong. I insist on joining the battle. Almost gutted on your first encounter and ready for more? Whatever you like, Prince. And, I expected more resistance. From Vognir, maybe? They tell me you were his Kender. That's why you're in charge now. Some sort of next-of-kin Varl thing? Don't you take on his responsibilities? In my own way. And stop acting like I'm a thorn in your side. When you're nearly 200 years, it's hard to take a 20-year-old man. Is that right? Seriously. You better start. We'll both be kings someday. That's the last thing I need to think about right now. Luden looks at you as though you just punched yourself in the face. He heads back to his tent before saying whatever was on his mind. You got characters with high exertion. Don't overlook an important stat. Exertion lets you add more willpower to your actions. Want to add by 1 star, or the exertion lets you add 3 damage to every attack, or 3 spaces further than usual. Nice. Alright, let's upgrade our dudes. Alright, Hakon. Promote. And Eric. another gun off. Siege archer. Nice. Yersa, right? She watches you approach with her head tilted back and points a thumb towards Luden's tent. No, here for you. Oh. Can we talk? Yersa shakes her head no, a smile on her lips, eyelids low. Why not? I don't. It's about the flaming arrows. She raises an eyebrow. Varl and fire don't get along. All you get is a shrug. If you're going to use them... She pulls an arrow. There's a flick of your wrist you don't quite catch, and suddenly a bird combusts in the tree behind you and falls to the ground. Half the camp is turned to watch. Don't tell me not to. You don't talk? No. You do, though. I don't. You Luden's bodyguard? No, he's mine. Before you have a chance to be confused, she cackles, abrupt and loud, and looks embarrassed. You are his personal guard, though. Her expression changes to, of course. How did you end up with someone like Luden? Luck? Well, this has been fun. Until next time, Yrsa. Hakon. I am a witch, so be careful. She puts her forefinger to her lips with a soft shh. You depart, not quite sure what to make of that. You have a moment? As you approach Bercy, he lowers the book he was reading. He doesn't strike you as the book-reading type. You're Bercy? You're Hakon. We've gotten that out of the way, haven't we? I have some questions. Say what you want to say. What's a Varl doing working for another Varl? What difference does he make? It looks like you're in charge right now, so do me a favor and don't get Luden killed. He's important to you. No, but that's one way to put it. Or you learn to fight. Same as you, by fighting. You know what I mean. You're odd, well-protected merchants for at least one man's lifetime. Is that what you mean? Yeah, not anymore. I've had a lot of jobs. What a loaded question. Depends what you mean. Whose back will you have if things go wrong? Assume I'm looking out for myself, and you'll figure it out. Does Luden understand that? Luden doesn't even understand that half his army here is just to protect him from people that he talks to. See you on the battlefield, O leader of Varl. I'm where I want to be. Don't forget what I said about keeping Luden alive. Got it? Hi, buddy. Alright, what time is it? Yeah, it's about midnight. We can probably call... Well, no. We'll keep going until we get to our next town. We'll rest tonight. Not quite sure when our next town is, but we'll go till then. Hey, bud. You overhear a conversation while marching alongside the warriors. I'm happy to stomp some slags as much as the next bro, but I didn't join up to take orders from Hakon, says one. Apparently doesn't realize you're within earshot. Not willing to die for him either. Not sure Vogner would have been happy to hear that, you growl loudly. The Varl flinches as you walk past that looking his direction. In the distance you can hear his friend laughing. A small gathering of tents comes into view, a group of merchants from the look of it. You ask what they're doing here. We were camped out at the Godstone ahead, one tells you. Leave an offering to Dengler, as one does. His expression turns. Dread started appearing out of nowhere. Some of us stayed, thought the Godstone would be safe, but damned if I know why. Dodging them since we left. Not much, he replies. Anything of value left at the Godstone. Never seen this many Varl in one place before. Off to deal with those dredge? You nod. We can part with some supplies if you need them. As you like. We're passing Degler Stone. I have a request, though. Our ex-brother stayed behind. You'll know him by the necklace with the gold rings. If you see him, say we're safely in Strand. The caravan slows unexpectedly. Word travels down the line, then to Mogr, who tells you. Dredge know we're coming. Probably saw us back at Betterfell and did their usual lurking. Could have been bad if we plotted into them, but we saw them first. Dredge, watch you, waiting to see what you do. When's the last time you commanded a few hundred Huckle and a smoker? Don't overthink it. The warriors can take care of themselves. Let's smack some shit up. See how this goes. Ooh, a couple of big guys. Nasty. Okay. Ah, pumpkin bed. Let's see here. Ow-wee. Thank goodness. Whew. Ludin has been sending scouts ahead, quicker and more nimble than your Varl. One rushes back across the hilltop out of breath, dredge that direction. But a day away, they found a village. You ask what they're doing. Tearing the place apart, he says. Maybe 1,000 of them or more, looking for God knows what. This will be a bigger fight than usual. Ludin is uncharacteristically silent, waiting to see what you say. Still a day away, you're eating on the march. Varl approaches. We had words earlier, says Gris. You recall him claiming he didn't care for your command. You were right in what you did. Let me join your guard and fight at your side. Pride hangs on his posture and sincerity in your eyes. You doubt his ability to do the job. Yeah, it makes sense. I'll prove myself, he says, awkwardly taking his leave. Rest up the heroes. Okay. Okay. People are looking happy. Let's go. Close enough to hear dredge railing for the buildings below. The village seems to slow there. Pull them out of the houses, Poke suggests. Slag can't resist an ambush. Better luck in an open field. Alright. Another fight. Oh, interesting. That's a lot of big guys. I do not like that. Okay, hold on. That was cheap. There we start the battle. That was so cheap. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna fucking one-hit kill on the first. Take the bite it down. Charge. Russian battle. Okay. One slap and down he goes. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's move you back a ways. Okay. Ugh. saving my ass here, dude. Oh. Group of survivors catch your eye, smiling on their faces. As you approach, they call to you. Not a Vara lost here, says one next to this hideous monster. You see Griss leaning on his shield, battered and bruised. Still, give me a chance, Hakan. He gives a wide grin. An honor, he says, and heads off to find Mogr. Okay. Looks like this is a little village, so I think this is probably where we'll call it. Yes. Hear that? She all but whispers. It sounds like crying. You discover a trapdoor hidden by carpet. A woman's scream dies in her throat at the sight of Varl instead of Dredge. Men and women huddle together. A baby cries on her mother's shoulder. They're clearly awed to see so many warriors. What do we do now? I feel almost guilty about this, he says. I know, Strand. Even if they make it in one piece, the locals will tear them apart. Not literally, of course, but, well, maybe literally. I might join them. Let's check out the market. Alright, well, Mogr's gonna kick butt. Okay. Alright, so now that we have this little village, I think we'll call that good for tonight. This seems like a good spot to stop. Yeah, looks like it saves automatically. Cool. Well, thank you all for coming for this. I don't think I've really done a double stream of 2 different games in a long, long time. Or ever, maybe. Rare double stream. Well, if you were here for Transistor, awesome. And if you missed Transistor because it flew right past, then hope you stick around for more Banner Saga, because this game is pretty cool. And we will see you next time. Actually, let me, before I say goodbye, let me see if anyone I know is streaming. Nope, nobody I know is streaming. Okay, well, we will send you on your way. Have a good one. See you next time. Have a good one, friends.